Hello children, how are you? In the last class we have talked about the classification of plants into domestic plants and wild plants. Well, domestic plants are those plants which we grow in our homes and gardens, which we take care of because they are useful to us in some or the other way. Well, some domestic plants give us their fruits, and some plants give us their flowers, and some plants we grow them for their leaves, like neem, tulsi, etc. Okay, so that is about the domestic plants. Now coming to the wild plants are those which grow by themselves. Nobody takes care of them. Usually we find them on the roadside or near the railway tracks or in the forest. Those are called the wild plants. And some of these wild plants, they grow very fast, they grow rapidly, and as they grow so fast, they take up all the resources from their surroundings, like the water and the nutrients, and they tend to affect the growth of other plants and animals also. Such plants are called weeds. Well, weeds are the plants which grow very fast. They spread rapidly and they affect the growth of other plants and animals. Because of this, the farmers, what they'll do is they try to remove these weeds from their farms. As these weeds they will not allow the main crop or the other crops to grow properly. So the farmers, what they do, they'll remove the weeds from their farms. The process of removing the weeds, it is called weeding. Okay, the process of removing the weeds from the ground, they uproot along with the roots and they'll remove it. So that process is called weeding. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the examples of these weeds. Some common weeds which we find very commonly around us are the first one is the water hyacinth. This is the leaves and flowers of this water hyacinth. What they'll do is they form like a mat on the surface of the water. They tend to weave their leaves around each other, and they will form a mat like structure on the surface of the water. And because of this, they will not allow the sunlight to penetrate into the water. As there is no sunlight, the plants which are growing under the water and the animals such as the fish which grow under the water, they can't get proper sunlight and eventually they die. That is why this water hyacinth is not desired by anyone. People try to remove this from the water bodies. For example, actually I live in Pragati Nagar. We have a lake in Pragati Nagar, and this water hyacinth is a very big problem in this lake. No matter how many times they tried to remove with the bulldozers, what are they called? They tried to remove with the cranes, and they also tried to spray some chemical. It is called a herbicide. They tried to spray that chemical on the top of the leaves, and some of it is controlled, but still again and again, no matter how many times we try, it comes back again and again. It is that it spreads that much speedily, that fast. Okay, yeah, this is about the water hyacinth. Let me show you the picture. See, it looks like this. The leaves of the water hyacinth, they look like the hoofs of a horse. In Telugu, that is why they call it as Gurrapu Dekka Aku, like a hoof of a horse. It looks like. Okay, this is the water hyacinth, and it look here. It is forming like a mat. All the leaves, they come closer and they become like a mat on the surface of the water. Okay, yeah, and because of this water hyacinth, people can't swim in that water, and the fish can't live in the water, and people can't go boating also on this on that water where this hyacinth is growing. Okay, it also clogs up the waterways and also interferes with fishing. And because of these reasons, people try to remove this weed from the water. Okay, the next one is the dandelion. We also saw this dandelion as an example for taproot system, if you remember. See, this is the dandelion flower, and after it is completely matured, it becomes like this, like a ball of fur. And see, there are some, and when the when there is a strong wind, all these umbrella like structures, they get blown away by the wind. These are the seeds actually. The seeds, they look like umbrellas, and they get blown away by the wind, and because there will be hundreds of seeds in just one flower. Okay, so that is why they spread very fast, they spread rapidly. And this is also a weed, this is also considered as a weed. This usually grows in grasslands, and yeah, this is considered as a weed in many gardens. This will affect the growth of other plants also if it is present in your garden. Yeah, this is the dandelion. The first one is the water hyacinth, next is the dandelion, and the last one, okay, it is not the last one, but we are talking about only one more thing, is parthenium. Parthenium flowers I'll show you. See, the third one is parthenium. You find it everywhere. You find it on the railway tracks, even on the roadsides also. Okay, this is the parthenium flowers. This parthenium flowers, they are known to cause skin problems and allergies. This is of no use to anyone, but still it grows rapidly and it affects the growth of other plants. Okay, yeah, so those are the wild plants which are considered as weeds, which are not which are undesirable to us. And there are other kinds of wild plants also which have medicinal values. These are very useful to us, and let me tell you some examples of these also. Okay, okay, I'll read those examples, 1 minute. Some wild plants such as Gugul, Pippali, Haritaki, Damiana and Yashtimadu. These things have medicinal values. These are commonly found in Ayurveda shops, if you have been to Ayurveda shops anytime. Okay, let me show you. The first one is Gugul. It looks like a kind of gum. Okay, Gugul. This is known to cure heart problems. They make it into a powder and they use it in Ayurvedic preparations to cure heart problems. Next one is this is Pippali. I'll show you. This is Pippali, and this is the plant of Damiana. Okay, maybe can you see? Okay, these two, Pippali and Damiana, they give relief from stomach problems like ulcers, gastric problems, indigestion, such kind of things. They can be cured with Pippali and Damiana plant. This also you find it everywhere. It is a wild plant. Okay, yeah. And next one, oh, sorry, this is Haritaki, and it is known, this one is known to reduce joint pains. This is also made into a powder and used in Ayurvedic preparations, and this is known to reduce joint pains. The next one is Yashtimadu. This is also called as licorice roots or licorice stems. Okay, this licorice is known to cure cough and cold, and asthma also. And this is also known to cure liver problems also. The licorice, it cures cough, asthma, liver problems, and it is also known to improve your skin, hair and voice also. You know, some people who wants to become a singer, they go to Ayurvedic shops and buy this licorice powder, and they take it in hot water so that their voice will get improved, it seems. That is just a saying. I don't know how far it is true. Yeah, so far those are things. Let me show you those one more time. This is Gugul. This is used for heart problems, cardiac problems. Next, this is Pippali and Damiana. These are for stomach problems, ulcers, indigestion, etc. And next to this is Haritaki. Yeah, this is Haritaki, and this is used for joint pains. Next is the licorice. What do they call? Yashtimadu. Sorry, this is Yashtimadu, also called as licorice. This one is used for treating cough, asthma, cold, liver problems, and to improve the texture of skin, hair and voice. Okay, so yeah, what have we discussed today? The plants can be classified into domestic plants and wild plants. In wild plants there are weeds and also the medicinal plants. Examples of weeds are the water hyacinth, the dandelion, and parthenium. And wild plants with medicinal values, what are those? Gugul, Pipali, Haritaki, Damiana, and Yashtimadu. Okay, so that's all for today, children. See you in the class. Bye bye.